Welcome, Emily Cole and Richard McDonald to Talks to Go. Richard, on a scale of 1 to 100, where one is no freaking way and 100 is a sure thing, when Emily was a little girl, how would you have ranked the likelihood of her being the co-owner of what is arguably today the hottest property in American sports entertainment, or what I like to call spentertainment?
It's difficult to put a number on it, but I definitely knew that she was going to be something else, one way or another. Yeah, she was unique and a great child to raise. She was easy. She was our first, and it was good that she was the easy one.
Yeah. When you say how was she unique?
Well, we were just talking about the day she was born. That was unique. Being the first, my wife Lori and I, we had no idea what we were doing. I especially didn't. But she came into the world quick and fast. We raced off to the hospital, and she was born face first. That was kind of unique about her. And the doctor had a funny comment when she was being born. We as new parents were scared, and he said, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm thinking, what do you mean, what's this? Well, it was her face, and he wasn't expecting to feel her face. And so that was kind of unique right at the very beginning. But
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know she was going to grow up to be an owner of a baseball team, though.
Yeah, yeah. And Emily, what would that ranking be for you on likely to not likely at all?
I'm more of a behind the scenes type of person. And so to me, the owner of something that is as grandiose as, Banana Ball has become would always be somebody who's very out there and likes the spotlight and is comfortable there. And I'm of course comfortable with it now, but back when I was growing up, that's not what I was going to project on myself. I was more planning on being somebody who is supporting that. And I guess in a way I am. I mean, my husband is definitely the front of house person, and I'm definitely more comfortable behind the scenes, making things happen, the puppeteer. But on a ranking, I don't know. I mean, I had high expectations for myself, and, the typical first child, very driven. I graduated college early. I was always working, like worked full time through college. So that stereotypical high expectations for yourself. So I'd go with like a 60 maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you know you always wanted to be in sports, in the sports industry in some way?
Yeah, well, like my dad said, I have three brothers. And so we were definitely a sports oriented family. We grew up just being outside. There was always a ball being thrown inside or outside.
That's for sure.
um, so didn't know specifically that there were careers in sports. To me, it was just finding that right path. So I actually studied communications and marketing and PR, and then got this big elaborate job right out of college in the marketing field. But I realized that what that meant was sitting in a cubicle by myself all day. And so I realized that this marketing job wasn't really for me, and I wasn't enjoying life. And so I went and got a part-time job after that, working at the local ballpark. And so I found that I hated my 8 to 5, but I loved my 5 to 10. And so just started digging a little bit and realized, hey, there are people who do this for a living. There are people who plan this before people show up, when the gates open. There are people who do this full time. And that was kind of my segue into sports as an actual career.
What was that local minor league club, Emily?
It was the Binghamton Mets. We're from upstate New York.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
awesome.
Well, we can identify a little bit with that because for 14 seasons, I was the public address announcer for a local independent club near us called the New Jersey Jackals. And I used to bring Jill up into the press box in her car seat. I mean, this is well before she could even walk, obviously.
Yeah.
So she and Yogi Berra Stadium was our home away from home during the summer. Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
she grew up
awesome.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What role did sports play in your relationship with Emily?
Oh, well, like you said, there was always sports going on in the house with the boys. So she played softball. And what was the first thing you did?
I don't know.
Field,
I guess.
field hockey, soccer?
Yeah. But then
And,
he became my coach
yeah. So
for,
was I your coach for a while?
for softball.
For softball.
It's
I didn't remember that. So,
very, very young.
yeah.
Not professional.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so a lot of her friends were in sports, and so it's
Yeah.
just a natural thing for her to be in sports also. Yeah.
yeah. Would you say sports is the thing that bonded you two together, or was it something else that was sort of the bond of your relationship?
I don't know. I think family was the thing that bonded us together. Family was very, very important to us. And we didn't do a lot of things as individuals. We did it as a family.
Yeah.
And our youngest son, Alex, he would tell you that he was the tag along because there was always something going on with the others and he had to tag along. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you had your own little built-in baseball team as a family. So
Yeah.
We did.
yeah,
we
makes
did.
sense.
What was your favorite upstate New York thing to do as a family?
Oh.
I don't know if it was. We were always going to some sporting event.
Yeah, we drove all over the
for
state
one of them,
for
yeah.
sports.
And but I mean, we loved upstate New York. It's just a farming community. You know everybody in town. They know you, and sometimes that's a bad thing. They know everything about you. But yeah, being a small town. How big was your graduating class?
Oh, like 60.
Yeah, like 60.
65.
So
Wow.
yeah, we knew everybody, and Emily was very personable, and so she had a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, and so there was always somebody extra staying over at the house, at least one person.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
Emily, does your dad ever give you any advice or suggestions as to how to run the banana ball operation?
My parents are so good at, I think, walking this line of not overcomplicating the relationship where they're trying to tell us what to do, but they are such good listeners and such good supporters. They have been from the beginning. So, of course, now everybody sees the bananas and banana ball, but we had a team in North Carolina before we started the bananas called the Gastonia Grizzlies. And for a time there, it was just Jesse and myself. We were the only full-time staff members. And my parents came and were ushers for us at the ballpark because we needed more hands and we needed people who we trusted. And so all throughout my career, like from the very beginning, my parents have just shown up and done whatever the task was that we needed. So not so much from a telling us how to do things, but they will show up and listen and pitch in and pull the tarp if it needs to be pulled, or move chairs, or do the ushering duties, or help in concessions. They've just always been there. And I think that leading by example has in turn helped us decide how we're going to make decisions and run things.
Richard, I'm curious, in the early days of the bananas, did you ever have an idea that you're itching to tell Emily, but because that boundary had been drawn, I'm not going to go there, but still you really wanted to give that, let her have it in a good way?
yeah. I can remember a few times maybe suggesting something that might be fun or something that would work or something. But because I don't know a lot of the behind the scenes things that you need to do, my idea was probably crazy in their eyes, crazy, not workable. They don't mind crazy ideas, but they need one that would work.
Yeah.
So like she said, I would stay quiet usually, and if they wanted my opinion, I'd give it to them, but otherwise I didn't force it on them.
All right.
Okay. Emily, the Banana Ball's philosophy of fans first, entertain always, was that in any way influenced by your relationship with your dad?
Yeah, I mean, my parents taught us from a very early age just how you treat people. And at its core, that's what fans first is. We just treat people how we would want to be treated. It's like the golden rule. And
Yep.
how do you honor others? How do you serve others? And that's just always been a part of our upbringing. Like when we would earn money, part of it went to donations, and we would go fill the food pantry as a family. Not that we had tons to give, but whatever we had, it was always a part of our life. And so I think that whole mentality is just a part of who I am, which of course carries over into the business.
Yeah.
My mom was a big, big believer in the golden rule, so that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
Richard, what amazes you most about Emily?
Wow.
It's deep.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, as a parent, I'm very, very proud of her, just what they've accomplished. But I was proud of her way before this. I mean, she always had a lot of friends, like I said, and she always had friends over to stay overnight. And we actually, she had, she knows I'm going to tell her.
Oh, this will be fun.
She had a sleepover once with 45 friends.
Oh my God.
45
gosh.
people stayed overnight at our house.
Wow.
And Oh yeah. There were a lot of smaller versions, but
Yeah.
45 was the record, I think. And she was just amazing. She had a lot of friends, and as you know, as kids are in school, they want to be able to be popular, and they want to be able to hang out with the popular kids. And she was friends with everybody. And if somebody didn't want to be friends with her, she didn't force herself on them, and she didn't try to always be the friend of the popular kid. I think just by being who she was, a lot of times she was the popular kid.
I'm trying to envision 45 people. Now, were they all in? Really? Let's dive a little deeper on this. 45 people. Were they scattered all over the house? Were they in one
Yeah,
space? Were they
yeah.
double decked? Yeah, all over the place. Huh?
It was a very large house. We bought it at an auction
Wow.
before. Well, no, you were already born at that point. So yeah, we bought this house at an auction, and it wasn't completed. So we were able to get a good deal on it. So we could make it the way we wanted it, and we knew that we wanted to have a family. I didn't know how big it was going to be, and I didn't know she was going to invite 45 people over. But it was a 4,000 square foot house.
I was going to
So it
ask the square footage.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's
It was
that's pretty
there
good
was a lot of
size.
room, yeah, and we fit them in there somehow. And then of course we had to feed them breakfast, and after that, so that was a.
Were you the head cook, Richard?
Me and Mom, we
Yeah, tag team it.
making pancakes or whatever. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And Emily, what do you treasure most about your relationship with your dad?
One thing that always sticks out to me, especially now as I see how families are just spread out so much, is that even though my dad worked full time, he was still always there. And I think just that concept of continuously showing up, like we've talked about, we have 4 children, we were all in sports. Some of us did theater, some of us were in music, but I mean, I can't even imagine juggling that schedule. Plus a full-time job and providing for a family of 6 and providing for half the community when that community would all spend the night. But he just always showed up to things. And so I respect that. I try to parent like that. I think that that's been a great bond, for us in our relationship now, is that he was just always there. And he's still here. He moved to North Carolina to be with us. Like that, explains enough.
Yeah. And what have you taken from your relationship with your dad growing up that you've passed along to your own children now?
Yeah, I mean, that concept of showing up, so much so that we homeschool our kids now, because that importance of just being together. I mean, when he talked earlier about that family time and that's what bonded us, we played board games as a family. We did puzzles. It wasn't always running to somebody's event. We made sure that the Friday nights and the pizza nights and the puzzles, like that was what glued us together. And so as a family now, Jesse and I do have a very busy lifestyle because of our careers. And so we had to make that decision of how are we going to spend intentional time with our children, because we do work more hours than the normal parent. And so we decided to homeschool because that idea of spending quality time together was planted in my mind so early on, and Jesse from his family. That I think that's helped us make those decisions for having our homeschool and having the kids with us on the road all the time, because being together was just always the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Emily, your favorite board game?
Oh, gosh. Well, right now our family's really into Sequence. So
Okay.
I will say Sequence has been good. But our youngest is 4, and she's a big Chutes and Ladders and Candyland fan.
Love those.
And
Love those.
I remember
Classics.
playing a lot of those growing up too. So the classics, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were game nights competitive as a kid?
Oh my gosh.
Everything was competitive.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
3
yeah.
brothers,
Yeah,
everything.
of course, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
should have guessed that.
Yeah.
What is Emily? What is one thing you wish for your dad above anything else?
Ooh, good question. What is one thing I wish for him? I think relaxation. He's just always, like I said, he's always been the provider. He's always worked so hard for our family that he probably doesn't. I know I'm gonna get emotional. He probably doesn't relax, and so that would be something I would wish for him.
Very sweet.
Sorry.
I'm curious, as a quick aside, I know you're so immersed in Banana Ball.
Yeah.
Are you watching the World Series at all?
Wow. A little bit, but honestly, it's a lot, right? I mean, these games are going 3 and 4 hours. They're super late at night, and while we respect the level of play and what these guys are doing, the idea of that is sort of why we created Banana Ball, was because we have a young family. We have a really early, I mean, Jesse and I both get up super early, like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we're working out. And so this idea of a game going until midnight just doesn't fit in our lifestyle. So we watch the highlights, and our son is super competitive, and he's into any sport that's on. So sometimes we'll watch the first few innings, but for our life, it's just not feasible to stay up and watch an entire game.
Well, I'll tell you a funny thing in that regard. I'm a big baseball fan. I've been ever since I was a little kid. So I was watching the 18 inning extravaganza the other night, and I will admit, you're right. Here on the East Coast, by the time the ninth rolled around, I think it was 11:30, and that was it for me. So I was done. So I didn't make it close to 18, but one of my first reactions was, knowing that we were going to be talking to you guys today, was, think of this. More than 3 banana balls could have been played.
Oh my gosh.
In the time they played that one game.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We heard from a lot of people this week about that game specifically.
Yeah.
So it was funny.
Yeah.
I will say I thought it was incredibly entertaining. I really did.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, so much happened. So many unbelievable plays. Richard, it's commonly believed that our daughters learn from us, right? From their dads. But what is the most important thing that you've learned from Emily?
I guess never to underestimate her. That's for sure. Because she exceeds my expectations every day. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a lot of things on my mind that I could probably share with you, and is something that probably ought to come up in this conversation is people always talk about raising kids, and sorry, I get emotional.
It's okay.
We decided early on that we were not going to raise kids. We were going to raise adults. And while we would allow them to be kids and have fun and whatnot, but our idea was to raise adults. And so we let them be kids and we let them play, but we taught them all the things they're going to need to know as adults. And they just, all of them, just blow me away with what they have accomplished. And I think a lot of it goes back to that we taught them things that adults need to know. Anybody can raise a kid, I think, but not many people can raise an adult. Mm-hmm. And they just jumped in and they understood life and they understood, giving back to life. And so that didn't answer your question, I'm sure. But
no, it does. It absolutely. It's fascinating you say that, because we've had conversations where we say, there should be a lesson, whether it's taught in school or elsewhere, for kids as to how to live as an adult.
Adulting 101.
How to navigate life as an adult, or what you will need to do to successfully navigate life as an adult.
Taxes 101.
Yeah. Really?
Something out there. More into the behind the scenes, Richard, what is something that fans of Banana Ball would be surprised to know about Emily or Banana Ball itself that they don't know from either social media or just seeing their online presence?
I'm not sure.
we share a lot publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the hours?
We never shut off.
Yeah, they don't shut off. That's for sure.
When does your on game day, Emily, for example, when does your day really start in regards to what's going to transpire either that evening or that night, or that evening or that afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, we really do not shut off. So 7 days a week, we go to bed talking about it. and we wake up in the middle of the night with ideas, and we get up and go to the ballpark. We do travel with our kids, so from an actual waking up and getting started, 5 of us in a hotel room, we are often up very early. And so even on game days, your 2-year-old doesn't understand that mommy and daddy are going to be working till midnight or 1 a.m. So our days start really early, and we have had to be really intentional on how we rest and take care of ourselves, because we play 100 and some on games a year. Jesse and I pride ourselves at being at as many as we can. And so it is a lot. It is very taxing. And as we get older and as our team continues to become just so robust, and we've hired people that are better than us at nearly everything. So at this point, I think that we will be able to hopefully take a step back and not necessarily be there at 9 o'clock when the gates open. And really, we're already, or not when gates open, but when the stadium opens. So our staff shows up then. And we really have already been able to take a little bit of a step back there. Like, we're not the first ones unlocking the gates anymore. And so that's been able to help us, just from a longevity standpoint, continue to do it. But we really are on all the time, but we love it. This isn't a chore for us. We want to be on the concourse meeting fans. We want to be there when problems arise so that we can help work through it with our people. It's not a dream of ours to sit up in the skybox in a really fancy suite and take in the game from there. So it's not a chore. It sounds like that to a lot of people to hear that we're at the ballpark from dawn until midnight, but we truly love it.
So it's true what they say, a job is not work, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. When you wake up, at 2, 3 a.m. with those ideas in your head, do you have an ongoing list in your notes app that you write down all those ideas in?
Yeah, I do. Jesse is he's old school. He has little notebooks everywhere. I
was going to ask as to whether there's a pad and pencil on the nightstand.
Yeah. He's really good. He sleeps with his phone in a separate room and tries not to be on it, because he is on it so much for work that he tries to, make that separation at night. So he'll just wake up and write in his notebook. But I do have an ongoing notes that is always open. Yeah.
All right.
Emily, I have to ask, do you have a yellow suit?
Oh, absolutely not. He wears enough yellow for all of us. I think we can agree with that.
Yeah. Emily, what is the one thing you've learned from your dad that you've applied into Banana Ball?
My dad's really funny. He is always the guy making dad jokes or, trying to make us laugh with something. He's got very quick comebacks and really funny lines. And so I think that humor has always just been a part of our life. And I think we understand that the world needs more humor and it needs more fun. And so I would say, when we're teetering on something of, is this funny or will people not get it or something, I tend to lean towards it's humor, and we need humor. And that's a big part of our shows, is bringing that lightheartedness and joking around and not taking life too seriously. I think I got a lot of that from him, and I respect it. So I try to weave that into our shows as much as possible.
Yeah. And Richard, is there a standout moment from a game you've attended that's been your favorite moment at a Banana Ball game?
I would have to say, the banana baby, when the banana baby is lifted up. Those are exciting moments. and my grandson was one of those banana babies.
Yeah. Love that.
Emily,
that's always fun.
Emily, are you willing to share one Banana Ball idea that you thought was going to be a tremendous hit, and when you put it out there, it was an absolute bomb?
Oh, I don't know how I would choose one. We have so many ideas that flop, and we always say, hey, you're either going to have a success or you're going to have a story. And we are very quick to just do things and learn from them. We don't have a lot of red tape in our company, so there's ideas all the time that a couple I can think of right now. So we had pregnancy night where we just served pickles and ice cream, and we made everybody who was pregnant dance to Push It by Salt and Pepper. We had a living piñata promotion where we dressed somebody up in a costume, and little kids could hit them with miniature bats, and they had to throw candy at the kids. We had a horse head race where kids would put on a horse head, and they like were trying to race each other, but the heads were too big, so the kids couldn't see, and so we had kids all over the field, like running into the outfield wall, and a huge delay of game. I mean, we do crazy things all the time that are epic failures, but they turn into great stories to talk about on podcasts later.
I mean, they all sound great to me. And
I don't know if you're aware of this, and I never got a response, and that's okay. I want to put that out there first as a preamble. I'm going to say a few months ago, I sent in, I think, 9 individual handwritten letters to Jesse, 9 different ideas. Okay, and one of them was something I call banana split. Now, the banana split was going to honor anybody either going through a divorce or a breakup, and they were going to win some type of prize because they had a banana split. So there you go.
I love it. We'll add it to the list.
Perfect.
Hey, guys, if you haven't had enough fun already, we've now come to the segment of Talks to Go that we call Rapid Fire Roundup. And here's the way it's going to work. Here's the way it works. In rapid fire fashion, we're going to alternate between the two of you. We're going to give you either a very short question or a choice, and we just want your spontaneous response. Not a lot of thinking. All right?
Okay.
So, Emily, I've got the first one for you. Other than yellow, what is your favorite color?
Teal.
Richard, the Savannah bananas or the party animals?
Bananas.
Emily, what is one banana ball rule you'd like to see implemented into Major League Baseball?
2-hour time limit.
Had a feeling that was going to be the answer.
Yeah.
Richard, it's not going to be a snowy afternoon. Richard, what is your favorite thing to do on a fall afternoon?
Walk. Just some kind of walk.
Okay.
All right. Emily, the one Major League ball player, living or dead, you'd like to see in a Savannah Bananas uniform?
Mickey Mantle.
Ooh,
Okay. Richard, when Broadway produces the Emily Cole story, the musical, who would you cast as Emily?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know a lot of actresses,
Me either.
so I don't know who that'd be.
Anything except banana ball.
Eat, sleep, breathe, banana ball.
How about Leah Michelle?
Okay.
Leah Michelle.
Great.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
No, it's your show.
Well, I think
Okay, Emily, who would you cast as your dad?
Richard Gere.
Perfect.
He's the only guy.
Why not? Why not? Okay.
I think I look a lot like Richard Gere.
I think so too. I think so too. Yeah.
Richard, your favorite pizza topping?
Pineapple.
Ooh,
Really?
controversial.
Yeah, we
Wow.
can disagree on that.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Emily, the one movie that is absolutely guaranteed to bring you to tears no matter how many times you've watched it.
Top Gun.
Oh, wow. Okay. Richard, the one talent you don't have that you wish you did.
Ride a unicycle,
Okay.
which I tried to do and failed.
Yeah. I think most people would, honestly.
Emily, the one performer you'd like to have sing the national anthem before the start of a Savannah Bananas game.
Carrie Underwood.
Oh, good one.
Okay.
Richard, if you could choose one Major League Baseball team to play an exhibition game against the Bananas, who would you choose?
Probably the Red Sox.
Okay. Not the Mets, huh? You guys grew up in the Mets didn't do it for you. Okay. Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right. All right. The last one. Emily, if you could turn back the clock, what is the one moment with your dad you'd like to relive?
He took me on a trip to Hawaii when I was like 13. He won it from work, I think, or had to go to a conference. And I feel bad. He couldn't take my mom because she had 3 little boys at home. And so I was the next best option. So I'd love to go back and do that again.
That was a fun trip.
That sounds good.
Was there anything particular? What made it fun? Was there one particular moment, one particular thing that you did in Hawaii that made it a lot of fun?
we've talked about, I mean, we spent a lot of time in New York at family things and going to sporting events, and that was just a big deal to both of us. I think it's probably the farthest we'd ever both traveled from home, and it was this wild excursion that just the two of us were going on. So I think just the whole concept of it was really special to me.
Yeah.
Richard, is there a different moment that you would want to relive with Emily?
I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. We've now come to, we're almost at the finish line, promise. Okay. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, Emily, so to speak, in banana ball terms. We call this segment cross-examination. And what we do is that we take the two of you off the hot seat and you get to cross-examine us. And the reason why we say cross, Richard, you get to ask a question of Jill. Emily, you get to ask one of me, and the two of you can decide who goes first. The only question that you cannot ask, all right? There's only one provision. The only question you can't ask, because we've been asked it so many darn times, is how did you start the podcast? So that's the only one that's out of bounds. Other than that, you've got free reign. So go for it.
Okay. Do you have anything, or you want me to go first?
I can ask.
Okay. Right.
So, Jill, was your dad always your hero in life?
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I feel, I mean,
Answer it honestly,
I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh, it's so much pressure. Yeah, I mean, as an only child, like I spend the most time with both my parents, and I feel as though, I go to my dad for specific things and I'll go to my mom for specific things. So, I feel like they both play my heroes in two separate ways. We definitely have a very unique and special bond when it comes to sports and, being able to do this podcast together. So he definitely is one of my heroes, for sure. So yeah, I would say so. Yes.
I can live with that. Okay.
Yeah.
half a hero, like a he, the he part of hero. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I will say, what career do you wish you had gone into that you never attempted?
That's for me. Wow.
I feel like right?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing it now. Most of my life, the early part of my business career was in advertising, and the account management end of it. Then I segued into corporate sales, and now for the last 7 going on 8 years, I've been a full-time voice actor. And if I had my life to live over again entirely, I probably would have wanted to do that from the outset. Because in my heart of hearts, I feel as if I'm a creative being, and those earlier careers didn't allow me to vent that creative part of me. And now I love everything about the voice acting process. I'm one of those crazy people who, even enjoys marketing and cold calling and, trying to get in front of people who can potentially hire me. I love the auditioning process. I just love everything about it. It's very difficult. It's very competitive, but there's very few places I'd rather be than in my booth.
In a little
That's awesome.
box.
Yeah, that's about the
Yeah.
size. That's about the size of a London phone booth. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, that most definitely would be it. Yeah, something creative. I've done some acting, community theater, that kind of thing. Believe it or not, I was even in Goodfellas.
Oh,
But
that's
Background
cool.
acting.
but don't blink because you will miss me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you still made it.
I made it.
Did
Yeah,
make it.
yeah.
Right, before we officially let you both go, please let our listeners know where they can find you, follow you, any upcoming games or events you have going on in the near future.
They're going to follow you, not me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anywhere you find Banana Ball information, I'm connected to it. But Banana Ball is the sport, and now we have 6 teams under that umbrella. So the Bananas are, of course, the most well-known, but we have the Party Animals, the Firefighters, the Texas Tailgaters, the Loco Beach Coconuts, and the Indianapolis Clowns are our 2 most recent additions. So I'm connected to that. I mean, on Instagram, I'm at mcole3. and I'm most active on that. I can't handle more than one social media platform, so it's just that. But anywhere through the teams, you can usually keep up with me and the family and see what we're doing.
Awesome.
Richard, can we follow you anywhere? Or I'll put it to you this way, Richard, we will follow you anywhere.
Yes.
Well, Emily Cole and Richard McDonald, thank you for a revealing and a banana-tastic talk to go.